2, 3, 4. Hi there, I'm Alex and welcome back to Ukes with Alex. The tune you've just heard is Walk in the Park, a song that I wrote for the Southern Ukulele Store demo videos, and I've probably performed it more than 200 times in videos in the past 3 years. But how do you play it? Lots of you have asked, and I finally have the time to show you. I've actually decided to do this tutorial in high G, which is rare for this channel, so if you're a high G player and you like the tune you've just heard, then stick around because I'm going to teach you one of the easiest jazzy chord progressions I know. Okay, so the first chord we're going to start with is a bar chord variation of D. So we're going to use our ring finger on the 5th fret, we're going to use our middle finger on the 4th fret, and we're going to use our first finger on the 3rd fret. And that's going to be 5th fret on the G, 4th fret on the C, 3rd fret on the E. But what about the A? We're going to leave that open, but there's a trick to this song. There's a way that once you've mastered the chord patterns, you can continue to refine and improve, and you can steal this tip for other songs in the future. I don't really use the A string for much of this song. When I'm strumming it down, sometimes I will catch the A string, but it's there really to pepper in a wider sound for the chord. So most of the time, we're just focusing on hitting those 3 strings, the G, C, E and the A. But you can hear occasionally I catch the A, but it's not the be all and end all for how that chord will ring out. So you've got that bar chord C, and now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but it's not too tricky, folks. So we're going to keep that ring finger there. The 2 middle strings, we're going to keep that pattern of the 4th fret and 3rd fret together, but we're going to move them both down a fret. So the result will be a chord that looks like this. You have the 5th fret on the G, you have the 3rd fret on the C, and you have the 2nd fret on the E. Now strum that chord. Sounds very weird out of context, but when you move down, it doesn't sound that scary at all, does it? Because it's kind of the next step forward, the walk in the park. We're walking through the park and that's where we're going. And you can probably guess where we're going to go next. It gets a bit trickier, so what I recommend you do if you're not into big chord stretches with your fingers is switch at this point your ring finger to your little finger. Put your little finger on the 5th fret of the G string, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the C string, and your first finger on the 1st fret of the E string. And now you're probably thinking, oh, I do not like you, Alex, and that's fine. It's a hard stretch to do when you're thinking about it. But when you're moving through the series of chords, it becomes a lot easier. So you've got that bar chord C, and then you move down. So I recommend moving your 2nd and 1st finger down first, and then trying to slot that G string onto the 5th fret. And now everybody take a breath, shake your hand off, and just play a normal C. Now I guarantee you played that perfectly, because that is as easy as it gets in the context of this song. The first run through of that chord progression is complete. So we go 2, 3, 4. And the chord pattern, the strumming pattern that I'm doing, so I should say, is down, 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 up, down. Down, 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 and change, down, down, and change, down, 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 and change, C. And with C, so I let that C ring out, but I still do an extra strum up and down just to keep things looking and sounding in time. And what we're going to go and do is repeat that for the 2nd time. So you've got that bar chord C, move down, C, and then we're going to run through the C scale now just to make ourselves look really flash and really cool. And you can use this when you're improvising over anyone playing in C for future reference. So it's not a bad way to progress through this song. So we're going to play the 3rd fret on the C chord. And we're going to play the 3rd fret on the A string. So you have a... Okay. And this bit goes... And you're going to start by playing a hammer-on, which is when you play 2 notes but without doing a strum on the fret itself. So you're relying on the force of you moving your fingers off the fingerboard to pull you down. So we're going to go 3, 2, open on that A string. Just practice doing that. Okay, so once you've mastered that, 3, 2, open. And then on the E string it goes 3, 1, open. We do the same thing. It's a pull off at the end. So you go hammer, pull off, 3, 1, pull off, and then 2, open on the C string. 2 are E7 chord. Do you know E7? You probably do. That's the easy version of E that we all love. So you have the 1st fret on the G string, the 2nd fret on the C string, an open E, and a 2nd fret on the A string. So we keep that rhythm going. We go down, 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 up, down, A7. And the version of A7 we're going to play is just the 1st fret on the C string, and you play the other notes open. And then we move over to a bar chord D. So you're going to use that little finger again. It's good practice. We should do it more often. D, D, D7. So the difference between that chord is having the 2, 2, 2 on the G, C and E string, but having the 5th fret on the A string. To move to the D7, you take your little finger off and you put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. And then we play a G7, a G7 sus, which is where you put your little finger once again on the 3rd fret. So the chord looks a bit like this, open, 2, 1, 2, and then the sus chord is open, 2, 1, 3. And then we're going to play one of my favourite chords on the ukulele, one of the jazziest chords I know, which is a G7 with a G sharp added. There's going to be a technical name for that chord that I don't know, and I should because I'm a teacher, but you'll find it in the top corner of the screen. And that chord looks like this. You have the G string is the 1st fret, the C string is the 2nd fret, the E string is the 1st fret, and the A string is the 2nd fret. And the way that I play that chord is I lead in with my 1st finger, I put my middle finger on the E string, so both of my 1st fret notes are covered, and then with the remaining strings I just rely on my other 2 fingers to find the 2nd fret. That was the toughest bit. And then we end the song with a nice another run through and rendition of the Walk in the Park bit, which is... But on that last chord, we hold it, we move from the 2nd fret on the C up to the 4th, play the 3rd fret on the E, okay, and then back down, 4, 2, and then open C, and then we play the sexy version of C, which is up here at the 7th and 8th fret. So you have the A string being played on the 7th fret and the 8th fret being played on the E string. Okay? One, 2, 3, 4. Well done. You've done really well. Now I know that was a slow rendition of it, but I promise practice makes perfect. If you go back to it and keep going through and then follow the demonstration at the very beginning of the video, you'll be mastering those licks that you see Calais and Corey at Ukulele Site doing in no time at all. You'll be doing the pull-offs and hammer-ons and you won't even know you're doing it. And if you like the style of teaching, please do check out my fingerstyle course at ukeswith.com. There's a free sample lesson on there which will teach you more of a similar kind of style to this, but with some fingerstyle elements to it. And I will be back very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you again.